So welcome, Avital from Singapore.
Hi.
Really glad to have you here and sharing your story with us. And I'd love to just kick off with if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself. So, what is it that you're doing right now that you absolutely love?
Hey. I coach. I love coaching. I work with individuals and teams and organizations, mostly in three areas. One is leadership and impact. The other one is transition and change. And the third one is effective communication. And I shared with you in previous conversations, there's something about working in Asia where many of these topics are so relevant. The whole idea of coaching and leadership coaching and communication is growing and becoming very present now. So I feel very fortunate to be a coach at this time in this part of the world.
It sounds exciting from over here.
It is, yeah, it is, because it's. I think it can be exciting anywhere, but to do it here when things are still shaking and moving and growing, and you feel that you're contributing to the evolution of something, this is really exciting.
And so you just started to say that that it's about feeling a sense of contribution. Is that why you love coaching, or is it something different, something beyond that?
Why I love coaching. Contribution is part of it, but I think contribution comes into place more in other things. What I love about coaching is seeing the spark in people's eyes. When something really clicks, and it can be maybe that they reached a really meaningful decision, or that there's an aha moment, or that suddenly they really see themselves bigger than what they previously thought or saw themselves, and then they can allow themselves to have bigger goals and bigger dreams, and when I see this, the eyes opening up, and there's this expression of it's the most wonderful thing on earth. The very little, I think very few other things that give me the same pleasure.
And I just kind of noticed it's funny because I'm watching you on the screen as you're talking, and when you talk about the eyes lighting up, I can see your eyes doing the same thing and the excitement in you. It's really cool to watch.
Thank you.
So I know that you juggle things too, and I'm curious, is it always easy following your passion of what you love to do? Or is it challenging too?
It's not always easy. No, it's not always easy. It's definitely not always easy. Well, you know what? The one really good thing about it is that when you're involved in something that you really love, it doesn't really feel like work. So even when things are rocking or challenging or don't really click, there's always this I know where I'm going and I know why I'm doing it, which keeps me on track. So that's wonderful. But yeah, there are many points. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I do. I serve the community of coaches here. I have work. I have an extended family. There are so many pieces that come to this puzzle, and now it's not always easy, and it hasn't been easy before either. So, the really cool thing about now is that I'm on purpose. I'm on track. I know where I'm going. So all these things are just the little stones on the way that these too shall pass.
Yeah. And you said, okay, so I'm really curious about I'm on purpose. Like, what does that feel like, or what is that for you? Where is it that you're heading? And maybe it's not even a place that you're heading.
Yeah. It's how I am.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about where I'm going. It's how I am and how I make it bigger or evolve. And take more people with me on the way, because this is the exciting part.
Yeah.
And
So,
this was, I want to say something about this because this is really important. I think, like this was one of the pieces that really clicked for me. And it's still, and it's still work in progress all the time because there are other realizations on the way that make it stronger. Where seriously, it's not about, where I want to go. Is knowing the direction and moving all the time and doing it with integrity to how I want to be in this world, how I want to connect with people, what is important about it.
you make me think about that quote, that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And you seem very present to what kind of happens day to day.
I try to. Again, not always easy, but I'm very mindful about that. And it's not about letting go of the, when I say it's not about the destination, it's not about, there are no destinations. There are goals. There are stepping stones. There are things that I want to achieve. But again, this is part of the way. This is part of something bigger. Yeah. So you always stay in perspective when you think this way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you were to come across somebody who was kind of stuck in a place where they weren't able to do what they love, for whatever reason, their circumstances or whatever, they felt they couldn't do it, what advice would you give them from where you are now?
My personal belief and I speak from experience because I was stuck for several years. My life was pretty nice, but nice is not enough. There was this, it felt, I don't know, like unfulfilling, or many pieces were great, but there was this hole where there was unfulfillment and boredom and, there must be something else.
Yeah.
So I can connect to that, right? And now it's easy to speak from where I am now, but I'm saying, I want to say to myself, 6 or 7 years ago, there are no circumstances, truly, there are no circumstances that prevent you from starting the search, from starting to walk around in the world with these antennas. What is it that make my heart click? It doesn't need to be a major change. It doesn't need to start with letting go of your work and, I don't know, creating a social enterprise. Maybe not all of us are built for that, and that's absolutely okay. But it might be that there is something in your neighborhood or at your kids' school or at work or a certain project that is, that will bring this passion to life. And you want to start doing it now. Not a year from now, not 5 years from now. Because when you start doing this, you really create momentum. And I really believe in this. You can see it now, right?
Yeah.
Things will start falling into place.
Yeah.
But no one will do it for you. You have to start taking the first steps. And it can be tiny, but it will create momentum.
And you said, the thing that stood out for me in what you said was about your heart, like feeling it in your heart, listening to your heart. How did you do that? Because I think when you're stuck, it sounds huge, doesn't it, to listen to your heart? Like, well, what do you mean? Because we often listen to our heads. So what helped you do that?
Yeah. So I think I stayed enough time in the mud to realize that I had enough. This was really important. Right? Okay, been there, done that, it doesn't work. I'm very fortunate to have a partner who saw in me the things that I still didn't see back then. And I'm saying, maybe 10 years ago. And told me, you need to, you were born to be a coach. He saw this part. It evolved to other things, but he saw that. And I didn't. And there was you're absolutely right. On my part, there was a lot of resistance. I've spent a lot of years learning, and I did different types, throughout my careers, different types of works. So really changing now again, this was the attitude on my part. And I think I got to the point where I got a lot of encouragements from him, and from a few friends around me who told me, like, you don't have the same level of livelihood that we used to see in you 5 years ago or 6 years ago. And this was truly like putting a mirror here and saying, you know what? I see that. I don't like that. So I'm getting emotional now. And then it was just, do the first step. I signed up for, I said, okay, let's give it a try. If everyone tells me that this is something that I might be good at, and I've been doing similar things, but not exactly that, let's see how it works. And I signed up for the first coaching course, and there was no way back later. There was no way back. It was, going from this one to another course and starting to work with clients and starting to be involved in communities of coaching and starting to see how this is part of how I am as a partner, as a mother, as a neighbor, as a friend, as a professional. Everything started falling into place. So, and it started with a really small step, very small one. I committed to a 3-day workshop. And I see people around me, and I'm not saying, that this is the way things work or need to work. Like, no one promises you that, you will go to this workshop and you will go home and say, I found it. Right? So you go to the next one. You sign up to the next community service program, for a cause that you really believe in. Or you get involved in that project at work, even though you think that, if I'm going to be involved in that, it's going to take more time or more energy. Someone else might do that. No, you go and do it and you try. And it might be
out there.
that thing, right? It might be that thing, or it might be the beginning, and that's fine.
Yeah. Avital, thank you so much. It's lovely to hear you talk about how you've discovered your passion, and I'm just thinking if people wanted to get in contact with you, because I know that you coach in Singapore, how would they do that?
I have an email address. You can post it on your website.
I will do that for you. I promise.
Great. Wonderful.
But thank you so much.
And I really appreciate, this space and letting me share some of my experience. Thank you for that.
Well, you inspire us, and you inspire me, and I know that you'll inspire others. So thank you, Avital.
My pleasure. Bye.